Yeah.
What are the essential elements of a best friend squad?
Well, you gotta have more than 3 or else it's a best friend duo.
Straight up.
Don't start this, Frosta, okay?
Okay.
Don't try to get into the BFS.
I just shot.
I think you just need a group of a secret best friend duo.
Nobody knows yet.
You just need what's essential to a best friend squad is you need a hype man like Bo. Bo is the hype man.
Yes.
You need a fighter like Adora / She-Ra, and you need Glimmer to be there for positivity purposes.
Yes.
So all those characteristics are essential to a best friend squad, but also just people that you love. So
Yeah.
So what can you guys tell us about where your characters are going this season?
For Glimmer, I think in season 1 she's, working towards her independence from, the queen, and kind of her finding her own ground. And in season 2, you can see more of her leadership. And with that comes a lot of struggles within herself in terms of trying to figure out how to defeat such an evil group of people, the evil horde, without playing dirty. And so sometimes she thinks dark thoughts, and she struggles with being confined and constricted at times within the Princess Alliance, and she kind of wants to go out of the shell and do her own thing, and maybe she thinks it's the right thing to do, but yeah. So.
I think Bo is definitely struggling with the fact that Entrapta has been captured by the Horde, and now she's working with them to create tech. He's trying to find it within himself to realize that he is a tech master on her level, and that he can combat the Horde using his tech. But then at the same time, Entrapta was a friend, and he's really sad that he's lost an idol to such an evil group. At the same time, dealing with Glimmer's meltdown and her thinking a little bit darker thoughts, Bo is trying to cope with that as well because he's not used to that situation. And he's usually just all around like, hey guys, let's have fun. So this war situation is definitely taking its toll.
Frosta is just starting to burst out of her shell. She's coming out of it so fast. She's just like, I want to make friends. I want to have all the fun. I want to beat up robots. I just want to have a great time. But she also doesn't know, doesn't know boundaries or how to really have friends because she's always been a ruler for as long as she can remember. And I think that's really interesting, and also her friendship with Glimmer and she's sees her as so awesome and she can teleport. That's so cool. So I think their relationship is almost like sisters, and also also a little bit maternal. I feel like Glimmer, right?
Yeah, totally. Sisters.
Sisters, yes.
Yeah. I think a lot of the season has different instances of characters struggling with what they think is right, and they just all have good intentions and they all want to do the right thing, but sometimes it isn't.
Yeah. The lines are definitely blurred.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
A lot of grayness.
Yeah.
And then, so I've been asking everybody about this. About 2 weeks ago, one of the original co-creators of She-Ra, Larry DiTillio, passed away. So can you guys talk a little bit about the influence of the original show and the work that they had done on that?
I think the source material is definitely there. All the characters are the same, and I think from watching a couple episodes, there are a lot of similar characteristics between the original She-Ra and the She-Ra that we have today. When I was looking in the auditioning process at the show and looking at Bo, he obviously talks different, looks completely different, but they do have the same heart. I mean, they both wear their heart on their vest, so it was important, I think, to Noelle to keep the integral characteristics of a lot of our characters. They definitely do cross over, but there's a new generational flair in there, something that reflects
Modern day culture.
modern day culture and what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah, it was like a movement in its time.
Yeah.
There hadn't been very many powerful female characters, so it was a big move forward. Yeah.
One of the things I think about Bo that is so unique, especially on a lot of television shows today, is that he's very not soft, but has a lot of emotional smarts and is willing to be sad and willing to be happy
Yeah.
and willing to be, kind in a way that a lot of male characters aren't necessarily.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the reception of like fandom, your reaction to playing Bo?
I have so much fun playing Bo. I mean, I think you were talking about it earlier, we get
Yeah.
to yell a lot,
Yeah.
which is a lot of fun,
Yeah.
just like a release of energy. But then Bo at the same time is also this super positive character, and I think he's a really great role model for a lot of young boys out there who may not have a character like that on television to look up to. Someone who treats his female companions with respect and treats them as equals. And then at the same time, Bo, like you're saying, he displays a lot of quote-unquote feminine characteristics, which are really it's just the way he is. It's just the way he acts. It's innate to his nature, and I feel like a lot of people identify with it. Even me being able to watch the show and like, hey, I do stuff like that, Bo. Shout out to you. So, yeah.
We saw some amazing cosplay today.
We wish we could go out there.
Yeah. You guys pointing it out.
Yeah.
If you were here at the con and you were able to cosplay as a character from the show, who would you want to dress up as?
Ooh, Hordak.
Oh, I was gonna say Shadow Weaver.
Okay, we go in the evil characters. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I mean, I've been wanting to cosplay as Frosta, but I'm like, I'm really tall. I'm not that. I'm not short. Like,
Totally
but
do it.
but my hair is short now, so I'm thinking about doing it. And one that besides me, I love all of the character designs so much. I think that Glimmer actually would be really, really fun to do if I could pull it off with like
I
the
mean,
hair
you
like
have
that.
the color
Yeah,
scheme going
the color scheme
already.
is going, yeah.
Halfway there.
Yeah. Or maybe Perfuma too. That could be fun.
Yeah.
So what was it like for you guys in that clip that we saw to see yourselves dressed up as the original She-Ra characters? What was that like?
That was so funny. I love that little clip. It's especially Katra doing the purring.
Yes. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
she did so well. I did it
Yeah.
so well with that. It was perfect.
Yeah, it was definitely super cool. It was an homage, and as soon as I saw that we were doing it, I was like, oh no, wow,
Yeah.
bravo! Like it was, that is by far like one of my favorite episodes that we've ever had to record. It's just so much fun. I love Dungeons and Dragons, and then just being able to see a real life version of that in the She-Ra universe, like it's dope.
Yeah. I was. Oh yeah, you go. Okay.
No, yeah, go for it.
Okay, so seeing Frosta as like this tiny Frosta, and like the outfit is like way smaller. It's just like I feel very, very like motherly towards Frosta. I'm like whenever I see her, I'm like, wow, that's my little baby ice child. I love my small baby. So when I saw her in that outfit, I was just like, oh my god, it's so cute, it's so perfect. I love it. She's like pulling at it, and I'm like, wow, that's adorable. So that's how I felt.
I had a mustache. Sorry.
I didn't bump a mustache. Yes,
Glorious.
Yeah.
feels good with the mustache.
Yeah, I was like, Bo should keep that. Grow that out.
Kind of going back to what you were talking about with Bo having to deal with Contrasta now.
Yeah.
The Horde, that's kind of the theme in the show of dealing with people who are not necessarily going the way that you thought they would. Can you talk a little bit about like Entrapta going that way, and of course Adora still having to deal with Catra doing Catra's Horde-like things, and how that's going to develop that season?
Yeah, I think so. In the beginning of season 2, we especially, I mean, we feel bad that we essentially left Entrapta. It's our fault.
Yeah.
And when we realize that she's with the Horde and then eventually working with the Horde, it's quite a shock to our characters. But reading the script, I completely understand why Entrapta would want to form an alliance with the Horde, because it's where she can shine the most. She's been so intrigued with the First One's tech, and that's where she wants to devote her life. And so it totally, I think as the season goes on, you kind of get to see why she's doing the things that she does. Again, going back to doing the thing that you think is right, and it's all about perception. And Yeah, what more can I say about it? Yeah.
I think that Entrapta definitely, she's the type of character, she's not really aware of what else is going on
She's
around her.
unaware.
She's completely unaware.
Yeah,
Like,
but she has good intentions.
exactly.
Yeah.
She has good intentions. I feel like she doesn't really have an emotional connection to people. She definitely has a connection. I don't know if it's definitely not emotional. Everything, she thinks scientifically about everything. To her work, and her craft is basically her entire life. And somewhere that she can flourish is the Horde. There are no restrictions on. There's no moral code. They have unlimited amounts of First One's tech access. So Entrapta enjoys it there, and we'll see how that fleshes out for her, and how Bo and Glimmer and Frosta and the rest of the rebellion deal with that situation.
All right, right on.